Hi, I'm Lisa, and I want to share a little simple blessing with you today. It's a little story about Jacob and Laban. I don't know if you're familiar with the Bible story, but I will tell you what. It is a pretty fascinating story because it's about spotted cows and the obedience of Jacob and let's just say that the father-in-law wasn't exactly an honorable man. But I will tell you, there's many stories in the Bible where people screw up constantly, but God still gives favor. And so God has given favor in this situation. So I'm going to tell you the little story about the spotted calf and Laban and Jacob. I don't know if you're familiar with Jacob, but he married Rebecca, and Laban is the father-in-law. And so the father-in-law tricks Jacob 2 times. And he has to end up working for him for 14 years. And you can only imagine what Jacob's frustration was. So by this time, Jacob is ready to leave. After 14 years serving his father-in-law and making him very rich, Jacob is ready to leave, okay? But Laban wasn't in favor of Jacob leaving because the Lord had blessed him. And it's because of Jacob's obedience and what he has done for him. For Laban himself, which is his father-in-law. So he asked Jacob, what could he do to encourage him to stay? And Jacob thought about it for a minute, and he told Laban he would stay under one condition. And that condition was that Jacob would take all the spotted and speckled cattle, and there weren't as many of them on the property. There were a lot more solids. So Laban thinks this is the deal of the century, because guess what? He's thinking, hey, I'm going to be really prosperous in this situation. So little did he know that in Genesis 31, God gave Jacob a strategy in a dream. And in this dream, God is so specific of the instructions that he told Jacob. He told him to go get branches and to peel and strip those branches as if they were spotted branches and lay it in the troughs of the solid calves, or the solid cattle. So when he did that, he laid it before them, okay, and all they did was look at this as they were drinking. And in that time, it was hot, and these cattle were constantly drinking and eating. That's all they do, right? They eat, drink, and constantly just do what cattle do. So anyway, also the Lord said that when they gave birth, that he also needed to put this before their eyes when they were giving birth. So here's a constant, clear vision, a message that of seeing it come to pass. And so as Jacob had done exactly what the Lord told him to do, then the offspring of the solid cattle ended up being speckled and spotted. Can you imagine what Laban must have thought? He must have thought, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this happened. There's no logical reason why those cattle gave birth to those spotted cattle other than keeping their eyes on the vision. So they were visualizing these spotted cattle, okay, coming out. Can you imagine if we had our focus on the vision of what God is calling us to do when we consult him in the things that we do? And so the theologians believe that Jacob ended up with 75% more than Laban did just because of his obedience. And so isn't that like a crooked path straight? God just made the way for him. So when you're obedient, God blesses you abundantly. He blesses all of us. And Lord, I can just tell you, the Lord is amazing in that way. And sometimes I catch myself talking to the Lord in these circumstances because I just get so excited about what he does. And in my story, I've always had to lean on the Lord. And I don't know if you're doing that, but I just want to encourage you to do that because it's the most amazing journey that God will ever take you on. And obedience brings a blessing. So remember that. Obedience brings a blessing. It's a simple truth. And so if you make God first in your life, I promise you, he will bless you abundantly. It's simple.